Hi dear students, welcome to today's class. So today we are going to discuss about addiction. So in drug of abuse, you have to study what is addiction, what is tolerance, what is withdrawal symptom, what is psychological dependence and all those things. So in this session, we are going to discuss about addiction. So what is meant by addiction? So, addiction is a condition that results when a person ingests a substance or engages in an activity that can be pleasurable but the continuation of which becomes compulsive and interference with ordinary life responsibilities such as work, relationship, or health. So you all know what is addiction. You heard the terms like that a girl is a mobile addicted one, that boy is like full time in playing the games, and he is addicted to books, he is addicted to alcohol, like that. So many words, so many daily life you are hearing these kind of things. So the same thing is called as addiction. Addiction means when a person is continually engages in an activity which gives him or her a pleasure, but he will forget to do all the other activities, all the life responsibilities. He will forget to do the work, or he will forget to he will not talk to his parents, he will not mingle with his friends and all, because of doing this activity continuously. So that is called as addiction, that condition is called as addiction. And addiction could broadly be explained as a progressive disease and psychiatric disorder that is defined by the American Society of Addiction Medicine as a primary chronic disease of brain reward, motivation, memory, and related circuitry. So, it is described as a psychiatric disorder by American Society of Addiction Medicine. And users of some particular thing, they will not be the person who is addicted to something, they will not be like, they may not be aware of their what is their behavior is out of control and causing problems for themselves and to others. And it is characterized by the inability to control behavior. It creates a dysfunctional uh, emotional response, and it affects the user's ability to abstain from the substance or behavior consistently. And we can give a definition for this addiction. So psychology today, they defines this addiction as a state that can occur when a person either consumes a substance such as nicotine, cocaine, etc., or engages in an activity such as gambling or such related things. And there are some characteristic features for addiction, and the behavior provides a rapid potent means of altering the mood, then thoughts or the sensations of a person, resulting from the psychology and learned expectation. So if a person is addicted to something, and if he is not getting that particular thing, he will be like others, there will be so much of mood swings, he will be out of control, and like he will he will be in loss of his thoughts, and he will even lose the sensations. And the term addiction in context of drugs is compulsively need to use drugs in order to function normally. And when such substances are unavoidable, the user suffers from withdrawal symptoms. So addiction causes this withdrawal symptom. So if a person is not getting the particular thing what he is addicted for, it can cause withdrawal symptoms. So you know that the alcoholic people, the person who is addicted to alcohol, if he is not consuming alcohol, his hands will shiver, and he will feel like he will feel headache or something like that. So that kind of things is called as withdrawal symptoms. And the diagnostic and statistical manual of mental disorders does not use the word addiction at all. So instead of addiction, they use the term substance dependence. So that this is a word which we they are using for instead of addiction. Who are using this one? Statistical Manual of Mental Disorder, DSM, Diagnostic Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. So they use this term substance dependence instead of addiction. And substance dependence can be diagnosed with physiological dependence, evidence of tolerance, or withdrawal, or without the like physiological dependence. So that is about addiction. And what is called as addictive potential. So addictive potential of a drug varies from substance to substance and from individual to individual. So for example, if I am a person who is addicted to alcohol and I'm showing like this if for and one more person, my friend, is also addicted to alcohol, but the thing is that if I'm not getting the particular alcohol one day, if I'm not getting any alcohol and I'm not taking this alcohol sometimes, and both we are not taking alcohol on a particular day because of some circumstances, and the withdrawal symptoms that we both are showing will be different. So it will vary from individual to individual. And also if I'm like it is also like different from what I'm consuming. Maybe drug potential, like drug, if I am taking some kind of ganja or something like that I'm taking, and also my friend is taking alcohol, so the symptoms what they we both are doing. If a person who is not if a person who is addicted to this drug, they can show more addiction towards this particular thing, and they can show more problems related to this one than alcohol, I think so. So, dose frequency, pharmacokinetics of a particular substance, route of administration, and time are critical factors for developing the drug addiction. So, dose means how much amount we are taking, then frequency, how much time we are taking, like a day, whether I am a chain smoker, whether I am taking this whole day, or whether I am taking weekly once, like that. Then pharmacokinetics of a particular substance, that is chemicals what are included in that one. Then route of administration, at what, like whether I am taking it orally, whether I am taking it by injection, or whether I am taking it intramuscular, like that. And time, at what time I am consuming, all those things are also the critical factors that develop the drug addiction. So that is called as addictive potential. And next is a disease model of addiction. So one model is there for addiction, so that is called as disease model. So the according to this new disease model of addiction, is a disease of choice, and that is, it is a disorder of the parts of the brain necessary to make proper decisions. And understanding the impact of genes, reward, memory, stress, and choice is necessary to explain the disease model of addiction, and it relies upon so many standards. So that is genetic, reward, memory, stress, and choice. So genetic means the genetic makeup of an individual. Genetic makeup of an individual, and it determines how she or he responds to a specific drug, and what causes an individual to be more prone to addiction or is their genetic makeup. So next one is a reward. So reward increased for example, like increased dopamine is correlated with increased pleasure. So I told that CNS depressant, so when we take the drugs, it will release this kind of dopamine, serotonin, and all. So this is related with the pressure. So how much amount of this is released, that is proportional to the pleasure what we are feeling. And for the reason, dopamine plays a significant role in reinforcing the experience and all. And next is memory. So the neurochemical glutamate plays a critical role in memory consolidation. So when an addict discovers an addicting behavior, glutamate plays a role in drug seeking, thus creating the addiction. So this when we take today and we are continuously consuming the alcohol, then what will the neurochemical is there, it's the neurochemical is called as glutamate. So this glutamate is a thing that can increase the memory. So in the next time when if we are not taking that moment, our brain will seek for, okay, this is the time that I want to take the particular drug, so I want that, like that. it will seek. So memory power is creating by this one. Next is stress. So when under stress, the brain is unable to like achieve homeostasis. So the addict in this situation may experience extreme craving, like an intense emotional obsessive experience. Next is choice. So an addict may incur damage to the orbitofrontal cortex, the anterior cingulate cortex, and the prefrontal cortex of the brain. Okay, so this damage causes a tendency to choose small and immediate rewards over larger but delayed rewards. So these are the disease model of addiction. What all things are related to addiction? That is genetic, reward, memory, stress, and choice. So this is all because of these factors, these standards, we are get more into the addiction. Next is addiction psychology. So simply stated, addiction psychology mostly like we know that what is psychology, right? So psychology is a science devoted to understand the human behavior. So what is addiction psychology? Addiction psychology comprises the disciplines of clinical psychology and abnormal psychology, and fosters the application of information obtained from research in an effort to appropriately diagnose, evaluate, treat, and support the people dealing with the addiction. Throughout the treatment process, addiction psychologists encourage behaviors that build wellness and emotional resilience to their mental and emotional problems. Since like this addiction is harmful, uh, like maladaptive behavior or psychological models are very useful in understanding why people are getting get engaged in such an unhealthy behavior. So mainly this is for identifying the maladaptive behavior of the persons who is addicted to the particular thing, substance. So next is psychological dependence. So what is psychological dependence? Psychological dependence is defined as dependence on a psychoactive substance for the reinforcement it provides. So some particular substance, psychoactive substance or whatever it is, if they are giving something back to us, some reinforcement, pleasure or something like that, so we will be more dependent to that one. For example, in our daily life, mother is providing us everything. Okay, everything mother is providing. If we are asking for food, if we are asking for dress, whatever it is, or mom and parents, okay, the mother and father, they will provide everything. So we are more much dependent on them, like that. So if we are something, we know that okay, we will get whatever we are asking them, they will give provide us, like that one feeling is there. So likewise, when we are like when we are getting back something, we for teachers, if teacher is providing you all the notes, for example, I'm providing you all the notes what you want, then you are more dependent to me, right? You will not able to go and you will not find out another way of collecting notes, taking notes, reading much more books and all those things. Everything I'm providing, then why you want to go out like that? So that is called as dependence. And psychological dependence, it means that the same thing only, you are more attached to these things. So this, if you are taking this on a psychological psychoactive substance, then it means that dependence on a psychoactive substance for the reinforcement it provides, something they are giving back, so that one, that means you are dependent on them. And psychological dependence is actually a need for a particular substance because it causes enjoyable mental effects. And psychological dependence begins after the first trial, which satisfies a person, and satisfaction increases with each use. And this context feeling leads to psychological reinforcement, which eventually leads to dependence. So first thing, when it starts when something satisfies a person. First attempt only, it is satisfying that person, then we will go to that thing again and again. So that there comes the psychological dependence. So these psychological associations with addiction include mood disorders like depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, and all those things. And also the disorders like schizophrenia. So you already studied what is schizophrenia. So as well as personality disorders and all those things. So if we are not getting something from these dependent person or dependent substance, if you are not getting that one again, then you will feel these kind of psychological problems, mood disorders, depressions, and all those things. So it is various studies are there. So in these studies, it's shown that men are more risk at developing the chemical dependency. So men has more dependency, like in alcoholism, and women seem to be more vulnerable of becoming addicted to alcohol at much lower amounts of alcohol consumption. So women are not that much addicted in studies, but some are there exceptions. But in most cases, men are more addicted to this chemical dependency, and that is about psychological dependence. Next is drugs and mental health. So, the meaning of mental health. What is mental health? So, the meaning of mental health differs widely as it means a different thing to different people. But good mental health is usually a sign of positive way of life. So, my mental health is will be different from another people. So, it differ from one people to another, but it should be like in a good manner. So, it can be affected by the external influences, and one of these is drugs, especially the psychoactive one. So this health can be affected by external factors, and one of that external factor is drug. So you know that this psychoactive substance or these drugs, they will either, that is a chemical substance, they first act on the central nervous system, and it affects the brain function, and then result in the alteration of mood, consciousness, cognition, and all those things. So this can cause the mental health of the person who is taking this particular drug. So the short term effect, effects are there, like it can affect short term and it can affect in long term. So short term effects of such drugs may be enjoyable, and like, but these drugs can have a longer impact on mental health too, but it can, we can enjoy that short term effects of that one. And next is long term effects. So long term usage of psychoactive drugs may cause ongoing mental health problems. Here are some of them are ecstasy and depression. So I told that I will explain ecstasy in the in previous session. I told I will explain that. So long term effect of drug is ecstasy and depression, and also cannabis and schizophrenia. So, what is ecstasy? It is an amphetamine that causes hallucination. So, ecstasy is an amphetamine and it causes hallucination, and it works by making serotonin more available and gives you a sense of euphoria. Euphoria means a high thinking or an relaxed mood, or hyper, like that one. So when it is taken, so serotonin is a chemical naturally found in brain which regulates the mood, you know that one. So it causes, the serotonin is the reason for this regulation of mood. So when you are taking this ecstasy, that is an amphetamine, then it increases the release of the serotonin, and that can cause the mood swings and regulates the mood and all those things. So if lots of serotonin means euphoria, then lack of serotonin means depression. So if we are getting more serotonin, then it means euphoria. Euphoria means an hyperactive stage. And then lack of serotonin means depression. So that is the long term effect. And schizophrenia, you know what is schizophrenia. It's a severe mental health illness that may cause delusions and hallucinations. And there is a like if you are taking cannabis more, then schizophrenia can occur. So that is long term effect. So amphetamine, this can cause amphetamine, ecstasy, it can cause depression or euphoria, and cannabis can cause schizophrenia. That is the long term effects. And short term effects, coming to short term effects, the here the all psychoactive drugs may cause the mental health problems. Whatever psychoactive drugs we are taking, it can cause a short term effect, and this can include the anxiety, mood swings, depression, sleep problems, psychosis, and all. And here are some of this one. And first one is drug induced anxiety disorder, and second one is drug induced psychosis, and third is drug induced mood disorder. So first one we can like say that drug induced anxiety disorder, it includes panic attacks, and a panic attack is also a problem, and it like the periods of very severe anxiety in which heart rate increases. Here the heart rate increase with trembling, sweats, shortness of breath, and a fear of losing control. So that is panic attack. And surroundings are felt to be strange and unreal, resulting in loss of personal identity and sense of reality. So this is a short-term effect of drug. And drug induced psychosis. So here the psychoactive drugs can cause delusions, believing things that aren't true, or hallucinations, perceptions without any stimulus. And drug induced mood disorder. Here certain drugs may result in depression, which make the user who is taking the drug like sad, restless, irritable, tired, loss of pleasure, and like he become in a state of maniac, and resulting in elevated mood, delusions, and impulsive behavior. So these are the short-term effects of drugs that person is consuming. He will can affect two things: short-term effect and long-term effect. So this is the relation between drug and mental health. So I hope you understood what is addiction. So what is addiction? Addiction psychology, it mostly comprises the clinical psychology and abnormal psychology disciplines, and it is a condition in which it results when a person takes a substance intake a substance, or engages in an activity that can be pleasurable, but he will forget to do what other things like work, or studies, whatever it is. So that is about addiction. And also all psychoactive drugs can cause mental issues, like whether it is short term or long term, but it can cause some mental issues like anxiety, mood swing, and all. So this is the addiction, and in the next session we'll discuss about other things like withdrawal symptom and all. So I hope you understood, and if you have any doubts you can clear. So let me wind up here. Thank you.